Hey guys, and welcome to our second ever Graphic Geeks podcast. Now, we asked you on Twitter what you would like for our next podcast, whether you'd like a new Graphic Geeks podcast or whether you'd want a Google Hangout where you could get live feedback. And we recently just looked at the outcome of that, and you all wanted a podcast, so we are giving that to you now. Now, the topic that we said we were going to cover was inspiration. Now, I know a lot of you think you know what that is, and 90% of you will know. Mainly 100% of you know what inspiration is, but just going back, we decided to look kind of deeper into the meaning behind it. And the official definition is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. Now, when you think of inspiration, you don't necessarily think of the main reason behind it. Like, as designers in this community, we think, oh, okay, I'm not inspired, I've got designer's block, my channel isn't doing great right now, I need to stop it. And to be honest, that's not the case. You know, as a designer, you hit roadblocks. You're not going to have a clear path 100% of the time. And that's what me, myself and Ali want to talk to you about in this podcast. A time that I've struggled is about, I think it was around August last year. My channel was kind of at halt, and I was trying to figure out, what content I should be doing, whether I should even be uploading content. And it was kind of when I was in the midst of doing like layouts, like 2D and 3D layouts, or just straight up manipulations, just like time lapses of my designs. And I was very caught on the idea of what to do, and I really did not know what to put on my channel. And I think that's when I was very new to Dare. So I was recruited for my photo manipulations, but of course the gaming community, they may think it's sick in quotation marks, but it doesn't benefit them. So I thought, what's the point of me being a member if I'm just creating photo manipulation? So that's kind of where I got inspired, because it started this chain of thoughts where if I can do photo manipulations, these gamers need layouts, so why not merge the two? And that's where the whole photo manipulation layout thing came from, and they've been a great success. And a few gamers used them, and overall it went really well. And that's I guess that's how that helped me. What about you, Ali? What have you struggled with?
Okay, so things that I've struggled with, mainly when it comes down to it, I try and better myself every time I do a design. Every time I make something, I always look back at the previous design and I think, how can I adapt it to make it better than it was before? How can I change things up to stay creative and I want to keep pushing my ideas and things. And so, basically, the biggest problem that I have is figuring out what to do to push my designs and to progress and to kind of make myself think, when I look at my pieces, wow, I've really progressed from the last piece to this one. I can see the change that I've made. I can see how I've got better. So I'm always trying to better myself. And when you do this, you put yourself under a lot of stress. And every time, if you're working on a piece and it takes you a long time, you tend to start over thinking about it, and because you're looking at it for so long, it can become quite boring to you, and then you start to question whether it's even good or not. And so in times like this, I find that to take inspiration from other people really does motivate you to continue what you're doing, and to motivates you to sort of want to keep pushing your designs forward. And the way that I kind of cleared my head, and the way that I got out of the struggle of stressing over bettering myself, was just to browse other people's work on Behance. And there's a lot of artists on Behance. You've probably heard similar pieces of advice when it comes to inspiration about Behance, but make sure that you follow designers who work in similar styles to you. That's what I do. All of my Behance, the people I follow on Behance, they're all designers from the same kind of field of design as me, and I always take inspiration from them, just browsing their work, just looking at the different sort of techniques that they've used, and a lot of them have time lapses and things on their Behance profiles as well, so you can see exactly how they've made them. You can follow videos and things. So yeah, just honestly, just looking at how other people make similar designs to yourself, you can really sort of integrate those ideas with your own to produce something creative and unique. And that's honestly how I get out of any pickles that I get into. That's how I kind of break the designer's block.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
No, but I was just thinking then, when you're talking about how you look at other people's work, the one thing that we actually have, well, I haven't, but Ali's tweeted on our Twitter at @graphicgeeks_. That was some dodgy promoting right there. It's also, as designers as well, we're very, in like the best of ways, because I'm very introverted. I know Ali is very introverted. Most designers are very confined. We like to keep to ourselves, and that's fine. You know, if you're comfortable and you're happy, that is fine. But it can be very like drowning. Like, you can become very unaware of your happiness, and that alone can mess with your inspiration levels, because if you're not happy, you're not going to be inspired to do anything. You have to be happy with yourself. And as I was talking about the tweet, you know, Ali tweeted to just, you know, clear your head, go out for a walk. That may sound very, very cliche, but because designers, we get up, we design, we finish something, and then that'll be that. But if you change your pattern, you know, go do something, go meet with friends, go anywhere, and just change up your environment, and you may see something, or you may just being out of your normal pattern, it will trigger something, and you will be inspired without even realizing it. So sometimes changing your day-to-day pattern can be a really healthy move for getting good inspiration.
Yeah, breaking the habits does really help. Because, like you said, a lot of designers are introverts, and that's, like you said again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'll admit to being an introvert. I'd much prefer to stay in design, watch films, eat rubbish food, just sort of like do that kind of thing, just chill. And you do get into a bit of a rut sometimes because when you stay somewhere for so long, you're limited to resource-wise and creativity-wise. When you're thinking about what you can do, you're limited to your working space, and trying to think outside your working space about designs and things is difficult. So even when I wake up and go to university, even waiting for the bus, getting on the bus, just looking out the window, just sort of on the way to university, you can honestly see some really like strange things, like things that you wouldn't expect to see, and then that can trigger ideas in your head and stuff. And so one thing that I would recommend doing is, I've mentioned this before, but always have some kind of note-taking device with you. So a phone, just a little sketch pad, notepad, anything like that, and just jot down notes and things of things that you see each day. You might not even find them interesting at first, but when it comes to it at the end of the day, when you're back into your normal working environment, sort of that confined space, you then have your notebook that is full of all of these ideas that have come from outside of your workspace, so you've brought them in, and you don't have to worry about trying to remember them all day, and you've got them all written down, and then you can really use those to inspire you in whatever pieces you want to make. Yeah, that's pretty much everything from me.
Yeah, and with the whole note-taking thing, you really want to, when you are kind of putting these ideas together and you think you're ready to make something, you really have to challenge yourself. Like, as a manipulator, you can fall into, I guess, the same kind of strategy to go about making your manipulations. So, you know, gather your stocks, put them together, colour correct. If there's a sun involved, add the sun. You know, do whatever is needed, but you know, you really need to change up your techniques from time to time, just to, you know, spice things up and make things a little bit different. So the more like abstract the idea is, the more creative the workflow will be as well. And then you can maybe incorporate those techniques into another manipulation, because quite recently, when I released my latest manipulation, which was Hacking the High Life, I have about 1 or 2 ideas bubbling. I'm still working on them, but you know, they still just from making that, it's given me a few ideas that I have to work from and build up so they're more solid so I can put them together. But yeah, every step counts. Like, you can draw inspiration from the most abstract of places. You can conversations, places, like Ali said again, note taking, it really can come from anywhere. And just challenge yourself and just do something different. If you wake up and you're in a bad mood, just do something different, and it will change your frame of mind, and it will want you to get inspired. And I find, as a person as well, being quite introverted, it really does benefit you just to say yes to more things, because that way, you'll feel, it will be, I guess, nerve-wracking as a person, but once you've done it, you'll feel really good and you'll just want to do more stuff. And then the further you push yourself, the more things you're going to see and the more inspired, I guess, you'll get. So, it really does not hurt in the long run to push yourself as a person to gain inspiration.
And last thing I want to say is when you take a lot of inspiration from things, it does show in your work, and people will be able to see that you've enjoyed a piece of work. And it may even lead off from you taking inspiration to you giving inspiration. And a lot of the time, without even realising it, pieces that you create inspire others to make their own pieces. And it's pretty much like it's like a design circle of life, in that we all, in some way, inspire others. And because of that, designs and ideas and flow keeps moving forward, and it will then circle back, and you may take inspiration from someone who you've given inspiration to, and it's kind of like it's a pretty interesting circle. But
if they have not noticed, we seriously, for that quote, we should have got a Lion King sponsor. I'm not hinting, but we could have just started the Lion King revolution. I am in the horizon. I am seeing Lion King 4.
Quite easily.
And Lion King, the design circle of life. If there's anything, the moral of this video that you should have brought out is the design circle of life. And I am going to tweet that after we have finished this video. When you are watching it, this will be tweeted, the design circle of life. This is the sequel to Lion King.
And we expect to see loads of Lion King related designs now, as we are inspiring you to create some.
But yeah, guys, this was a shorter podcast. I think we covered everything, and we do have a very good support social media set up. If you need to get in contact with us, we're not snobby. If you have a question, we do answer it. We have a Gmail that we check every single day. That's graphicgeeksofficial@gmail.com. It's in the description. We always leave it in there. We have Twitter, graphicgeeks_. We have Facebook, We Are Graphic Geeks. Obviously, our YouTube is We Are Graphic Geeks. Contact us anywhere. We will get to you as soon as possible. Any questions, if you just want feedback on your portfolio. I know a few people or teams or organizations or whatever hate giving feedback because it just seems like an attention. But we're all people, we're all designers. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to improve. So if you want to improve, Graphic Geeks is your friend. We will help. Just ask and you will receive it. So we hope you enjoy this podcast, guys. Leave your suggestions in the comments of what you would want to see next. Tweet us, hit us up on Facebook, email us, do whatever. I'm basically just repeating what I just said. But yeah, guys, we will see you in our next upload.
Bye, guys.